Piasetsner Rebbe was one of many Hasidic Rebbes in Europe who was an expert in something that we might in the West call meditation, meaning the American understanding of what meditation is. Now, bear in mind that meditation in a Jewish context is not exactly what meditation is in a Buddhist concept. And the differences, I don't know anything about Buddhism, except for certain adventures as a young man in high school, where I was very taken with Buddhism and would read about it and learn basics of meditation and practiced meditation for a while, not as a faith system, but well, I'm just saying that I was interested in finding faith, and it was part of my my journey, the journey of my soul, to go through that, albeit in an American dilettante kind of way. But that's par for the course for a. I don't want to say anything bad about 14-year-olds, but it's not. It's, the beginnings are wonderful, and that's one of the great teachings of Buddhism, is that the beginning state of being, and as explained in Suzuki's classic book, which opened up a lot of meditation for America, called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, that to have a beginner's mind. That it's been years since I've read this book, but the title speaks for itself. That everything should be new, and everything should see the wonder in all things. As in the great Zen adage, how wondrous, how miraculous, I chop wood, I carry water. This is not an alien concept to Judaism. So, however, in the Hasidic Rebbes, in prayer and mitzvot, we're doing something. But the difference, I think, so I'm not that I'm qualified to talk about other faiths. However, the difference, who is, but everybody's an expert, right? Especially now that we have YouTube. But the difference between the Eastern meditation and Jewish meditation is basically that the meditation itself is an ends as a state of being in Buddhism, where it gets to the point where everything is a meditation, and it's just a state of being, of oneness, and experiencing that oneness in just everything a person does. So in Judaism, in other words, the technique itself becomes the end. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because it could lead to states of consciousness, and there could be a journey in the mind to states of consciousness. But after, before studying Zen, men are men and mountains are mountains. While studying Zen, things get confused, and then after studying Zen, again, a bagel is a bagel, and Jerusalem is Jerusalem, or whatever you want to say. But so really, the ends is this simplicity. Now, it's in the Jewish context, it's not exactly the same. That the technique is just a starting point to a journey, to always going forward, always moving. Judaism is forward march. We're moving on. We're going somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're doing something. And Buddhism is just, hey, we're here. This is it. No matter where you go, there you are. So, okay. Now in the next 4 minutes, we're going to start reading a deep meditation of the Piasetsner Rebbe, which is in order to strengthen the mind. So we're going to be meditating upon the Exodus of Egypt, and this is what the Rebbe said. Consider the impression that Moshe and Aharon made on the Jews when they announced the redemption from the slavery in Egypt. How did the Jews discuss the news in their houses? Didn't the innocent, clever children ask questions when they heard that they were no longer going to be slaves and soon going to be free? Even after the exodus from Egypt, the Torah advises us to give suitable answers to children's questions, each one according to his own level of understanding. Surely in ancient times, their children would also overwhelm their parents with numerous questions, endless questions. This is to say, there were so many little scenes in advance, questions and answers. Ima, why is this? Abba, why is this? What is this? How do you do that? Why do we do that? Since the verse in the Torah and the Midrashim don't describe such situations, then it is up to you to imagine, that is, visualize as clearly as you can in your Jewish imagination all of the events in the times of the Bible. Take the information, the verses and the Midrashim, and open them up according to the power of your mind. Parenthetically, I will add that it takes study. It has all the commentaries on whatever scene in the Bible you happen to be meditating upon, or strengthening your imagination and contemplating deeply. Deep contemplation was the name of the technique that the Piasetsner Rebbe, Kalonimus Kalman Shapira, of blessed memory, may his very mention be for a blessing, that was teaching. He was teaching a deep contemplation, deep thought, meaning that it's not enough to read. It has to be the experience of what has to be felt, of what we're reading. You know, when you read a book and you cry because it's so clear in your mind and you feel it in your heart, and you get to the point where it's not just when a guy is sitting in yeshiva and he's learning all the commentaries and all of it, it could be just an intellectual understanding, but does it get down to the heart, to the point where does it get down to the kishkis? Does it get down to the toes, make you want to dance? It's that's the experiencing the learning. So the deeper one learns, and the more one contemplates the details of the legends and the stories and the wisdom teachings, and focuses his power of his mind and his heart and his kishkis and his toes on the study, the more he will actually relive and experience and develop a somewhat prophetic feeling from the writings that descend from actual prophets. So the Piasetsner Rebbe, we will continue reading with the simple reading of a meditation on the Exodus from Egypt in the next YouTube segment.